I'm gonna lose if I got that.
Oh God, my watch. I hate this AI stuff. It's saying allergic to what? My watch is talking to me. I can't.
Second, are we on?
I don't know, but it's circling. It's sending me messages.
Yeah, we're on, guy.
Hello.
Negative K, nothing further. Just take Gabby in the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, February 20th, 2025. We're roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations. I'm here with a few of my friends. I have Dee with us. I have Ty with us. I have Jamel. I have Jerry. I have Mark. I have AC. I have Dave. And I have Rich with us today. And we're praying for Jim and Melba who are out not feeling well. But before we go there, we're gonna have we're gonna have a moment of silence for those who have passed away, loved ones, law enforcement, whoever. We're praying for those who have passed away. Thank you so much, Dee. We do not have Cheech, our disclaimer reader, with us today, so I'll read our disclaimer. Roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations. Please note that the comments and express concerns made by members of roll call on black, white, and blue for better relations, herein known as roll call panel, are the opinions of the individuals and not offered or intended to be legal advice, recommendations, or suggestions for listeners and or our observers. This panel may display graphic videos and photographs that are integral to or to spark discussion. These videos or photographs are not intended to offend any viewer or listener. A panel member will give notice to the audience as to the nature prior to displaying any graphic or sensitive video or photograph. Any graphic content displayed during the panel discussion has been obtained and shared from public social media platforms and is not the property of roll call. The language used by members of roll call and guests is spontaneous. It is uncensored and not intended to offend anyone in our audience. That is our disclaimer. We'll now have a statement of purpose coming from Jamel.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations, otherwise known as Roll Call. We have four main tenets that we like to stick by. We are pro-law enforcement. We are anti-racism. We believe in equitable policing, and we believe that Black lives matter, marginal lives matters, and civilized matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamel. We see Cheech waited until we did the disclaimer to join us today, but he's with us. Good to see you, Cheech. We're praying for you, Cheech. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. AC, we're praying for you and your mother-in-law and definitely your wife, Jeanette. We're praying for you. Hold that thought, Cheech. Let me finish mine, then I'll get to you. We're praying for JT. We're praying for his wife, Orlando. And I understand Jim and Melba will not be with us today. We're praying for the both of them. And we're praying for Derek. as he's moving around, and yours truly will be moving around later on as well. So you'll pray for us as well. All right. Before we go any further, let me get to Cheech and then Mark.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask for prayers for Anna. Fortunately, we got a call yesterday that her mammography came back not looking well. So they're going to do some further testing on a lump that was found.
All right. Praying for Anna. For those who don't know, that's Cheech's wife. We're praying for the Herrera family. We're one sick. We're all sick. Tyrone's wife, Ursula, is just getting around. So prayers have been working. The whole household has been sick. Let me get to Mark. Mark?
Yeah, I also want to say prayers for Cheryl Jackson. She wasn't feeling well. So she's back home, but prayers for her as well.
Right. CJ. Praying for CJ. All right. Listen, we do have a show lined up. We're gonna Jamel, were you trying to raise your hand? Oh,
No.
okay. We do have a show lined up. We're gonna try to move through this show, and we're gonna try to be as close as possible to that 4:30 hour. Close as possible to the 4:30 hour. All right. Let me start with a video. But let me just say this again. AC, it's good to see you back. I was just ready to call you to find out what is going on, because you've been missing in action for a while. So we had to make sure that you're all right. I'm glad you are all right. And we're praying for Kyle. I don't even know if anything's wrong with Kyle, but for some reason it just came to my spirit to pray for Kyle. So we're gonna make sure we keep Kyle in our prayers also. We have a video with Warren Sapp. My wife's maiden name, Sapp, yellow belly Sapp sucker. I mean, she's probably watching the show too. let me stop.
You getting carried away. You getting carried away.
Yeah, better quit. You better quit now.
Warren Sapp had an incident, and I'll let Dee set us up for it, and we'll go into it.
All right, this first video takes us to Okeechobee County, it's a county in Florida, Sheriff's Department. As Don spoke about, this is involving Warren Sapp, and so everybody can watch it with the right frame of mind. The police officers do not know this is Warren Sapp at the beginning of the stop, so just keep that in mind. Let's take a look.
Documents WPTV uncovered show NFL Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion Warren Sapp's attorney sent a notice of a claim against the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office.
Florida law requires people send these types of notices before suing a government. In this case, Sapp's attorney in the notice of a claim is requesting $20 million for damages.
WPTV's Ethan Stein dug through the documents to uncover why Sapp is asking for the money. Ethan?
Well, the attorney in this notice of a claim says that deputies violated Warren Sapp's civil rights during an incident that happened in February last year. In sheriff's body camera footage, he's seen in a group of people in sports cars. A deputy pulled over one of those cars. Take a look. This is body camera footage we obtained from a public records request filed with the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office. It shows the moment a deputy confronts a driver she suspects is speeding.
I got you going 63. It's a 35 through town. All you guys are hauling down the road.
It happened around 4:10 in the afternoon on February 24th, 2024. The group pulled over at a gas station. According to the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office computer-assisted dispatch system, deputies got multiple calls related to luxury and high-end cars almost causing crashes.
The blue Lamborghini right in front of you and the other one that just pulled in. These other cars, I don't know how fast they were going.
The body camera footage WPTV received shows it taking 23 minutes to create the ticket. And during that time, a crowd gathered. On the footage, you could see NFL Hall of Famer Warren Sapp among them. He speaks to the deputy issuing the ticket.
We got is not double 35.
In the video, Sapp continues to talk to the deputy. Then a different deputy instructs Sapp to stop.
What do you mean, stop what?
Are you serious?
I'm dead.
You want to go to jail today?
Obstruction is a physical thing. I'm not in between. Obstruction is a physical thing. You do know that, right? You do know that, right? Obstruction is a physical thing. What did I do that physically obstructed?
Doing her job.
What did I physically do? It's a physical action.
No, it's not neither.
Obstruction is a physical action.
If you don't see your name,
Not freedom of speech. You know, that's constitutionally protected, right? Yeah, that's right. What's the name of that number? 588. If you don't give me your name during the investigation, that's obstruction. What's your name? What's the name of that number? Coon Fair, 734. Coon Fair, 734. Yeah. Detained for what? I'll take that. Detained for what? What am I being detained for?
In the video, you can hear Sapp repeat the question multiple times. According to the investigation narrative from the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office, the deputy advised Warren he was not under arrest. Instead, was being detained.
You're going in the back of my car. Why would I get in the back of your car?
Because I'm surrounded by about 20, 30, 40 people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a safe situation.
Yeah, it's a safe situation. Ain't nobody doing anything.
According to the investigation narrative, the deputy says Sapp continued to plant his feet to the ground, refusing to get in the back of the patrol vehicle.
I don't have to answer you. I'm not getting in that car. I'm not getting in that car. Why am I in that car?
Back up! Back up!
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Let's go. That's all I want to know. Where's the supervisor?
Sit down!
Can I get a supervisor?
Sit down!
Can I get a supervisor?
Sit down!
Eventually, Sapp is transported to the Okeechobee County Jail. The footage shows he then spoke to a supervisor.
My name is Sergeant Ellis. I'm the road patrol supervisor. You want to speak to the supervisor?
I was wondering, you was outside the gas station when they drove away, right?
Yes.
How come we didn't have a conversation yet?
Because you were already in the back of a patrol car and we needed to get you out of there as quick as possible.
And that's what we came up with?
That's what happened.
According to documents from the state attorney's office, Sapp was charged with resisting officer without violence. But court records from Okeechobee County show prosecutors filed no information, meaning it dropped the charges. The state attorney's office sent us a memo in the case. Its conclusion reads in part, the law will not support a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. Still, according to the notice of claim, Sapp is seeking $20 million in damages. Last week, a viewer shot this video of Warren Sapp outside the County Board of Commissioners meeting last week.
I gotta go by the sheriff's office and get my thing. If I want to join me in the lobby.
Those people around Sapp also attended the meeting. They traveled from across the state and acknowledged Sapp in the back of the room, while also giving their opinions to the Board of Commissioners on the potential lawsuit.
The unjust arrest of Mr. Warren Sapp is a stark reminder that the fight against racism and tyranny is far from over.
If he wins his lawsuit for $20 million, you're going to apologize to the taxpayers?
That's what the sheriff's department did to Mr. Sapp back there. Stomped on his rights.
Sapp's attorney says Sapp was unable to sleep and his son's birthday was negatively affected by the February incident from last year. The attorney in the notice of claim says the Florida Sheriff's Risk Management Fund already offered Sapp $3,500. According to that website, that's an organization created and owned by the Florida Sheriffs. It says online it provides customized and affordable liability, automotive, and workers' compensation coverages to Florida Sheriff's offices. That organization, the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office, and Sapp did not get back to us.
All right, there it is. Listen, I since I'm hosting, I don't want to jump right up into it, so I'm gonna let Dave go into it. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, was Warren Sapp driving one of these cars?
They don't even know. But yes, but
Okay.
they don't even know.
Yeah. That was the calmest group of people I've ever seen. At a car stop. All they were just scared because of the crowd, but not one of those people in that crowd offended them, said anything negative. F you, all that. And then you just go grab this guy, the biggest dude in the bunch, who's probably the biggest teddy bear right there. I mean, Florida is fucked up. I'm sorry. I don't want to go there. I don't want to spend money there. I don't want to get on a cruise ship out of there. I'd rather jump in the water in Baltimore and leak up to a tanker ship and then go on a vacation. Yeah, I can't. You know, these are ancient. They making up shit as you go along. And then the supervisor said, "Oh shit, that's Warren Sapp over there. I'm just gonna keep driving by." It's ridiculous, man. I mean, ridiculous. You know what I mean? That man was 320 pounds. Okay. He's sitting there calm as shit, not resisting, not planting his foot. Shit. Let me see us try to move a dude, a 320-pound guy. You gonna think he's playing the foot, but he's not. Then he
How you
sat
gonna
down
plant a foot?
calmly. Yeah. He
How
sat
you gonna
down
plant a foot?
calmly.
He's
Yeah.
standing there.
He a
I
teddy
mean,
bear,
come
yo.
on.
Unless you're a quarterback.
How you gonna mix? Even the city council is like, oh shit, we fucked. The city council like, we know we fucked. And the taxpayer, and that guy was right. Yeah, now we gotta pay Warren Sapp with our taxpayers' dollars. You damn right you got to pay him something. I'm done.
They should have signed up for that shirt.
D?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, and I wanted to give it a little context because I watched a longer video. The video went on, there was a car ride, and just to give some facts so we understand just how tight the sphincter muscle should get on this one. Originally, that went on 5 minutes, and he never identified himself. He was just talking, he was asking questions. He was actually behind the crowd and just speaking. If you look at him, when he said the first thing, he backed up, there was crowd in front of him, but they targeted him. I think this is what the community should be worried about. Now that $20 million is coming out of your pocket. This is why this is ridiculous. It's not just, oh, the police department had to pay him. Police department don't pay him, don't pay you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the town, it's the city, it's the village, it's the state. That money is coming directly out of your taxpayer dollars for this foolishness. Again, a little context. They asked him to get in the car. He got in the car, and I guess they realized he had the guy that put him in the car didn't want his cuffs to go with him. So then they asked him to get out. He said, you just asked me to get in. This is what the obstruction was. The obstruction was nothing to do with the statute. The obstruction was, I don't like you talking. I don't like what you're saying. Now, I don't know whether anybody watched the complexion of the entire crowd. There were about 100 people out there. They only arrested one.
The black guy.
They only arrested one. And if you look at those cars, you got to realize as a law enforcement officer, I'm dealing with a different type of people. Lamborghinis, guys, Ferraris, high end, and she said it herself. This guy was going this and that guy was going that. She said that on camera. Do you understand what that means? That means if she knows what that guy was doing, but she doesn't know what anybody's doing, she doesn't know what anybody's doing. I'm going to tell you how radar works. Once she said that, I was like, uh-oh, that's a problem. To arrest him, he asked for a sergeant. The sergeant was there. The sergeant refused to speak with him at the scene. Two sergeants, one SWAT sergeant and that guy that was in the room. They refused. When the female got out and asked, hey, he wants to talk to the sergeant before he left the scene, the sergeant said, just take him. Had nothing to do with the people, had nothing to do with anything else. If you want a depiction, if you get a chance, go to YouTube and watch the entire video. This is policing gone wrong, 100%, from beginning to end. I was looking at it trying to find where I could say, okay, they did that right. Okay, at least that's right. This thing was wrong from beginning to end. That's why I thought we should run it. The one officer that ended up arresting him wasn't the officer that made the stop. I want to make that clear. That was some other officer came out the back, didn't like what he was saying, and he arrested him for, I remember, did anybody remember what he said right before he went and put his hands behind his back?
He said, did he say obstruction?
No. He asked him.
No, you're not arrested. You're being detained.
No. Before he was arrested, he asked him, can I have your name and your badge number? That's why he arrested him. I want to be very, very clear. As soon as he said that, there were no handcuffs being put on. There was no under arrest. No, sir, back up. Sir, I don't want to hear what you have to say. As soon as he asked for his badge number, that's why he got arrested. Just wanted to make that clear.
Hey, real fast, D. Were there any lawyers in that crowd that were friends with Sapp?
Probably all of them. You kidding me? You sort of probably all of them. I mean, you got to take a temperature of the room. You got to read the crowd, man.
$2 million worth of cars out there, man.
A lot of defense attorneys out there.
All right, Rich.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is it's almost comical. I mean, if they wanted real conviction, they could have convicted him on that wearing that shirt. But on a serious note,
Wearing that
just
shirt.
poor law enforcement. I mean, cops that act like punks. They made it a more dangerous situation by handcuffing them and taking them away. That riled the crowd up. You want to you want to de-escalate everything. Leave that man alone. Once he said, "Hey, badge numbers, this and that," let him be. Don't keep engaging him. They picked on him to the point where they felt like they had to detain him, then arrest him, put him in a car. That would have made it a more volatile situation with all those people out there knowing he's being falsely arrested. So they made it a more dangerous situation. Somebody in that crowd wanted to do something, it would have been done based on their actions. False arrest, bad news. I don't think he'll get 20 million, but they need to pay, and that could happen to any one of us. You know what I mean? That could happen to me. I'm 300 pounds, 6'4". I'm planting my feet in the ground. What is this planting your feet in the ground? He's standing there. How do you plant your feet in the ground?
Plant him?
I mean, it's not sand. What are you talking about? I mean, trying to justify your actions on a bad arrest is just stupid. So, like I said, bad situation. I hope he gets money. I know he won't get 20 million, but I hope he gets paid. They have to pay. It sucks. But poor law enforcement, bad deal, bad arrest. And the sad thing is, you just don't know how much of it's racial. I mean, the only man to get arrested out there is the black man.
Yes, you do.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
you do.
But yeah,
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
If he really planted his feet, he wouldn't have been moved.
No.
We know who we're talking about, right?
If he really planted, he wouldn't have been moved.
Cop would have bounced like a damn basketball. Bounce right
And to
off.
tell you the truth, I know some of you guys have said, I didn't recognize him.
I said that. How would I know that was?
Okay. I didn't know who he was. And
The whole state of Florida.
You have to tell me who he was, because I didn't know who he was.
Thank you.
But the whole state of Florida should know who he is. He's only one of the greatest players ever played
for Tampa Bay.
That's right.
Couldn't get past the
Tampa Bay
shirt.
player.
And he's from Florida, and he played college ball All-America out of Florida. I mean, come on. They know who he is at Miami. Come on.
I'm sorry. And the arrest happened in Florida, you're telling me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
I didn't know where he was.
I
Let
had
me
no
see.
idea.
D?
I had no idea.
Yeah, just on that, really quick, and then you can go, AC. Really quick. For 5 minutes, they didn't know who he was. And then if you please go watch the full video. I couldn't play it because it's 25 minutes. But when they finally realized who he was, you see why this thing took. They were like, "Oh, wait a minute, what?"
Exactly.
And they realized what they were doing. Now, at that point, law enforcement wise, you can fix it. You can fix it as a law enforcement. 13020 to CPL. Go read it. You can fix it. You unhandcuff him. You say, "I'm sorry. Hey, there was a mistake." Whatever the case may be. That officer could have still fixed it, but they were so entrenched in what they wanted to do. It just took when they found out who he was, you could hear at least 8 of the officers going, "Hey, yo, that's Warren Sapp."
Oh my God.
Well, who's Warren? Oh my God. That's
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to
you
look
can
at the
hear
video.
it on the body cams.
All right. I'm gonna have to look at that video.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I was waiting for in this one, but it was
It's a long video,
it's a long video. Okay, well, thank you for that information. AC, welcome back, our friend.
Arian.
First of all, thanks for welcoming back. Good to be here. I miss being here. Firstly, the reason why it's important that people know who he is, a famous football player, not because he's a famous football player, because he has the means and the visibility to make people listen to what he's saying. The public, not the police officers. That's why it's important to know who Sean is. It shouldn't matter, but it's important that you can't get away with BS when people will listen to. Now, getting back to the BS part, I like to look at it and see what could the police have done to make it better. They had a lot of officers there, and a lot of people eventually, but there are a lot of officers there at first. If you're doing crowd control, you can have somebody talk to a person. Talk to them. You can ask questions, and if you can't answer the question now, have you can't answer the question. the idea of not talking to them and act like they're in the way and bothering you and they obstruct you by asking questions is ridiculous. That gets you in a lot of trouble there as a police officer. It starts something that you can't stop. You know.
Yeah, pride gets in the way, AC.
Yeah.
You start getting proud. Don't want to like you made a mistake.
Ego.
Will Quick says, where is the de-escalation? The deputies could.
That's what. Yeah,
Yep,
that's what I mean. You talk to them.
Exactly, which is what you're saying right now. The deputies could have made contact with each driver, gotten the information, arranged to charge them for the traffic violations at a later time. Wow.
Was.
Okay. This is why our profession, I caught the hour too, Will. This is why our profession struggles to build credibility and validation with the community. This incident is impactful for everyone in the business.
Wait a minute. I'm lost here. I'm lost, man. That wasn't even a hostile crowd. Shit, we done seen hostile crowds where we were.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
That was a bunch of millionaires having some fun. That's all that was.
Yeah, just like he said, high-end cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You already deal with a certain kind of clientele. Yeah, use your head.
Well, you know,
they're supposed to know they're going to lose either way.
Yeah, well, that was just out of order. It went further than it needed to go.
Stupid.
Cheech.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I was happy to see the community be at the council meeting and stick up for him and point out that the whole situation was wrong and uncalled for. So I was very happy to see that, and I think you need to see more of that where the community steps up.
Okay.
Let me see. Will says, bro, they see Warren Sapp in their minds. His presence is hostile.
Big black man. He's a big.
Well, because he was big now. I mean, he's a big guy. Listen, y'all. If you don't know AC, the same thing could have been with AC. AC ain't moving either just because you just grab his arm. I mean, I'm serious. He's not moving because you grabbed his arm. I mean, you really have to direct him where you're going. And if he don't want to go, you ain't moving him.
You ain't moving.
He moving because he want to move.
Yeah, you're not moving. You know. And I'm looking at this professional football player the same way. Like, listen, if he really didn't want to be arrested, there would have been a real struggle going on there.
But the rat dog
definitely couldn't have got him in the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't have got him in the car. Couldn't have got the cuffs on him. Exactly, AC. Exactly. Anybody else with anything on that? So we can go on to the next one.
Does anybody know Warren Sapp? He was a commentator once he retired, and then something happened and they kicked him off. Anybody know about that?
That was at the Super Bowl. He got caught trying to offer a prostitute money.
Okay, enough.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? That was a long time ago, man. Come on.
He's coaching now.
Okay, I knew you would know, Dave. Enough.
Part of the legacy.
Isn't he coaching with Coach Prime?
He's coaching with Prime. Okay.
Let's talk how he and Prime fit together.
Well, let's talk how Warren Sapp sent The Rock to acting instead of playing football, because Warren Sapp took his job at the University of Miami at defensive tackle, defensive end, and Rock had to go act.
Okay, Dave.
That's true.
Next video, guys. Come on.
Leave the football players alone. I'm tired of y'all. You know we got
next video, guys. Next video.
Hold up, Miss Jerry. Hold up.
Jerry wants to lead, y'all.
You want to run the show, Jerry?
Come on now. Dave is going to talk sports to us on and on and on, and we got a 4:30 deadline. Next video, please.
No, we got it. I mean, we were talking about him. I just don't want. The next one is the 79-year-old shot outside 11th precinct.
Oh shit!
You got that one, D?
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to New York City. We call suicide by cop. I think this was an example of that. Let's take a look.
NYPD officers shoot and kill an armed man right in front of the police precinct in Bayside, Queens.
They say the gunman, a 79-year-old man, pointed his weapon at an officer, refusing to drop it. Fox 6's Arthur Sheehan is at the precinct where the NYPD just gave an update. Arthur.
Steve, Natasha, this is the 111th Precinct Station House in Bayside, Queens. This is normally a very peaceful neighborhood, but shots rang out earlier this evening, disturbing that peace. And since then, the block in front of the police precinct itself is the actual crime scene here. Now, officials tell us that it was sometime around 6:40 this evening that the 79-year-old man pulled up in a vehicle and approached the front of the precinct. There was an officer who was posted outside, as it is his job to guard the front of the police precinct, and we're told they engaged in conversation, and at some point during that conversation, the police tell us the 79-year-old pulled out a handgun that we have a picture of and that we will be showing you. Now, as that conversation must have been escalating, other police officers came out of the precinct and tried to get the guy to drop his weapon. Officials say he did not, and that's when all 4 police officers outside opened fire. The 79-year-old was rushed to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The 4 officers were being treated for minor injuries, including tinnitus. And just a short time ago, officials described exactly what happened when the confrontation started.
The male suddenly displayed a firearm and pointed it at the officer. The officer gave verbal commands for the male to put down the firearm and radioed for assistance. Additional officers approached and gave additional verbal commands to drop the firearm, but he did not comply and continued to point it at our officer. After the de-escalation techniques were unsuccessful, 4 officers discharged their firearms. The male was struck numerous times.
Police have released a photo of the weapon that they have recovered here at the scene. They say it's a .38 caliber handgun, and it was fully loaded, and that the 79-year-old did not fire a shot. Police tell us, or sources in the police department tell us, that the 79-year-old is not from the city. He's from Great Neck, Long Island. They're looking into motive, of course. One of the motives that they're looking into is whether or not he came here with the exact purpose of being killed, a dynamic that's often referred to as suicide by cop. But the investigation's just begun. The 79-year-old is dead, and the officers are being treated for minor injuries. We're live in Bayside, Queens. Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News. Natasha, back to you.
All right, listen, before anyone says anything, who cares how old he was? All right, Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, man.
Okay.
That was the precinct where I did my field training at, the 111 in Bayside. But I was there when it was racist as shit. But anyway, Great Neck is right across the road. Straight down the road, a highway right there. You're hitting Great Neck. Okay. But I just want to say to the cop who has stationed out security, because 111 is not a very busy precinct at all. It's a party precinct, bars, and that's that. I'm glad he was alert. Because those precincts like that, a lot of those cops put their, they put their guard down there in that 111. Okay, they do. They put their guard down a lot there. I found that out when I was in homicide. The cop that was killed outside of a bar up there years ago, Heidelberger. He was a housing cop trying to break up a fight, and the guy shot him to death in front of a bar. Okay, on Bell Boulevard. So, but they don't expect those things happen like once in a blue moon in the 111. So I'm just glad that the cops were alert enough to not just keep their guard down, just because that guy could have just pulled out and said bang, 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 and game over. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that cop would have never known what hit him. But he stayed focused. At least that's what it appeared to be, and they went home. One of your favorite terms, I want to go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it looks like Marcus Diggs says 4 officers opened fire. If there was 10 officers, all 10 should have opened fire.
Yeah.
So let me just so y'all go ahead. I'm just throwing my little 2 cents up in there.
Yeah.
If they were 10, as long as they're not in the crossfire.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? As long as they're not in the crossfire. D.
You got D.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute, D. Todd threw up his hand. And
D,
then
I'm going to say, I want to see your thunder. The people don't understand that when that happens, we didn't pre-designate who's going to shoot, who's not. So, Donald, it's your turn to shoot this time. If anything happens, me and D school, we're not going to pull our gun. I mean, that's how it goes. All 4 cops are there. We're all interacting with the person. We all react to the scene. And it's just ignorance of, and I was that way before I was a cop. I didn't know either. So, I'm sorry, D. Was that your thunder, D?
No, that's good because it lets me expand on that. You're focused on the threat.
Yeah.
All 4 guys are focused on the threat, and you address the threat. We all get caught up in how many shots. I'm not looking at Don here, Ty here, Rich over there, and saying, you shoot once, I'll shoot twice.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I look at the threat. Now, you keep shooting until the threat is dealt with. If it takes one shot, that's fine. But all of us know, and all of us have seen, a guy get shot 9 times and still be able to be in the fight. So your idea is, so just for people watching, I gotta negotiate the threat. That's what I gotta do when the threat is over, when I know the threat is over, regardless of what's going on around me. The second thing I want to say is, you got this mindset of police and shooting, and we go home and have a cup of coffee and kiss our wives and girlfriends and everything. You forever changed all 4 of them cops. That's why you served. All 4 cops went to the hospital. If you're involved in a shooting, anybody here that's been involved in a shooting, it costs you. No matter whether you shoot a deer on the side of the road, you're shot at, it costs you. You have to go down, and it's mental work to get back to work.
With you.
You got to understand that. Some guys don't ever come back. Some guys, it takes a year to come back. Some guys, yeah, they shake it off, and they can, and those are the guys I got to watch. Those guys that shake it off and they're at work the next day. Now it's my job to watch him. Because it can come and hit you like this. So I just wanted that to be clear. We deal with the shooting like, oh, it's a shooting, and we move on to the next. You forever changed all 4 of them cops' lives, forever. Anybody here has been involved in a shooting? If I didn't know you were involved in a shooting, because I know you, I know now, because you're going to carry it with you for the rest of your life. Just wanted to put that out there.
That's a fact. That's the fact.
Rich and Ty.
Yeah, you know,
and
this
more.
whole situation is unfortunate, but the cops did the job. And you know, I've seen situations in my department, suicide by cop. We've taken guys out. I remember a guy grabbed 2 knives off a table, and he initially threatened to kill himself. And then we sat out there for a while trying to talk to him, and then he just bolted towards one of our officers, and everybody opened fire. And he, was suicide by cop. Definitely, no doubt about it. But when I was in the academy, they showed us a film of a black man in a 3-piece suit coming out of a hotel downtown. And I believe the call said he was acting strange. He may have had a weapon. So the cops roll up on him, 2 San Diego police officers. They don't say a word to him. He's standing outside the hotel against the wall. And then all of a sudden, there's no exchange of words, and the cops open fire, and he goes down. And then they asked the question in the class is that, who thought this was a bad shooting? And everybody raised their hand. Well, we watched the video over in slow motion. From the side of his leg comes up a firearm on the side of his leg. And the cops saw that. They were focused in, and then they fired, and they killed him. But that was another suicide by cop back in the 70s. And then they asked the question in the class, how many people think this was appropriate shooting, justifiable? And then all the hands went up in class. So all the hands went up for, they thought it was bad, and then it was all good. But it just shows you how you focus in on what the threat is, okay? No matter the circumstances, what it looks like to people, we know, and we have to take action because of that threat. That person made me do that. And that's the thing officers have to sit with the rest of their lives is that person made me do that, and I had to act.
And I did it.
I didn't want to take a life, but I had to because of the circumstances. So it's unfortunate, just like January 6th, the last thing I'll say, 2 cops were killed in that action. 3 more killed themselves because it was so traumatic. Just goes to show you, cops are human. We have to deal with stuff and compartmentalize it and put it in the right box, or else it gets to us. So just word to the wise.
Thank you, Rich. I'm gonna go to Ty and then Mark, but let me just read this real quick. And somehow we got to get these questions up in here, questions answered up here. Isabel Jordan wants to know, why handcuff when they're dead? I could never understand. So she wants to know, why is a dead person handcuffed? We'll get to. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not going to answer it, not going to answer it. The other question was for Marcus Diggs. How come the race of the gunman wasn't given? Well, I'll let y'all deal with that. But Ty, you go, and then Mark.
So my officer involved shooting was, and I didn't even pull the trigger, and it still affects me. So that's how it. I chased the gunman down the street into the parking lot, and I came from behind the building, not realizing the gunman was waiting for me, and my partner Tony McManus shot him because he knew that he was drawing down on me. I didn't know it. I was on the radio telling him where I'm coming from. I'm running between the apartment buildings. I chased him out into the open, and I ran out to the open. When I ran out to the open, and the guy turned towards me, T-Mac shot him. And that traumatized me, and I didn't even pull the trigger. People talk about law enforcement and officer-involved shootings and guns like they watching TV and not recognizing the sound of the weapon being shot alone is traumatic in itself. And I cannot explain that to you any better than that. It is traumatic in itself. So what D. School said a minute ago was so factual. And the reason why I say it sticks with me, I was at the mall with my daughter last weekend, leaving the mall. We're walking out the mall. There's two sides of the mall. I make her walk. We're on the right side. I tell her, let's get to the left side. She said, "Why, Dad?" I said, "Just go to the left side, all the way towards the glass of the store." She said, "Why, Dad?" I said, "Because the left side is my weak side, my right side is my weapon side. And if something happens, I know my left side's covered because the wall is there, and I'm prepared to protect you and myself." She was like, "Whoa." I said, "It never leaves you, baby." I was a police officer for about 2 decades, and I can't help it. It's the way I think. If I'm walking down the mall, I'm leaving. I'm not going to leave my strong side unblocked. My strong side has to be exposed. Weak side has to be protected. It's just the way I think. I'll never change. And my daughter got a real hard glimpse into that. And Isabel, the reason why we cuff them when people think they're dead is because we're police officers, not doctors. It's not our job to tell who's dead and who's alive. It's our job to make sure those hands can't move. Did I say that right, D. Schooner?
100.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, D and Ty touched on it really nicely. Any traumatic event, we all try to play macho and deal with it and stuff like that. But a lot of this stuff manifests when you're trying to get to sleep, and next thing you know, your mind starts racing. You're not sleeping. You're only going to sleep when you're exhausted, and then you wake up, and then as soon as you think about it, your mind starts racing. So it happens to cops. It even happens to civilians. You get into a horrific car accident, or you see something that you normally are not used to dealing with. And unfortunately, we as cops, we see a lot more of the dark side. We've gone into apartments and seen scenes that they won't even put in a script on Hollywood. And we have to live with that. Not only do we have to live with it, we have to go to the next call and deal with somebody else's problems, knowing that we just saw somebody laying in the bathtub, stabbed to death. And now we got to go to this call where this guy's arguing with his wife because the food was cold. And this is what we have to deal with. And then on to the next call. So it gets overwhelming. And then at that point, we do need help. And he says that, he's one of the guys that checks to make sure, because we have that macho, and it's in the military too. We have that macho-ness of, no, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. We got to go to the next call. But officers and departments are starting to become more aware that we are people and we're not machines, and that we need help, or we need somebody to talk to and stuff like that. And most departments do have somebody that we can reach out and touch. And the supervisors, a good supervisor, will also look and make sure you're okay. And if you're acting a little off, I may piss you off, but hey, Donald, you need to go to see so-and-so, Father so-and-so, or Tyrone. You know what? I know you're okay, but do me a favor. Just go speak to them. And then you'd be surprised, once they start talking, a lot of stuff comes out. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Mark. D, is your hand up? Did your hand go up, D?
No. I was just I was
Oh, Ty's
yeah.
It was
hand
me,
went up.
Donald. You have no idea. Donald Butler has no idea how many lives he's probably saved as police officers. Because people will come talk to Donald, and I was one of them. That if something was bothering me, I wouldn't tell Donald it was bothering me, but I just talked to Donald about it. And he always had his even way about him. And Donald probably has no idea how many cops that probably did that also along with me, just to talk to you.
Honestly, no clue.
I know you don't, Don, because when I told you,
Well, except for the ones who made it known that they were looking for an answer.
yeah,
Other than
I
that,
never made it known, but I always talk. I saw you all the time, but so when I talked to you, it wasn't unusual. But sometimes I had ulterior motives, bro. You talked me off the ledge a few times.
I'm glad I did, and I hope I'm still doing it to others that I'm even unaware of. I really pray that I am, because that is my goal. Um, D, we have another video. Which one we have now?
Yes, we do. The Texas girl.
The Texas girl. Oh, this one breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Let me just say that up front. This one breaks my heart. But go ahead.
Let me just set it up real quick. I did 32 years with the state police, and the hardest time I have when it comes to kids, anybody's kids, I don't know. And kids is a person a day. Some of y'all are my kids. A day younger than me, you my kid. It's just the way I think about things. But this little baby is going through her life, and we don't realize some of the things we're doing and our government is doing, how it's affecting some of these babies. They don't have the intellectual conversation to express themselves, and you got all of this stuff happen, not thinking how it's affecting somebody else. Let's just take a look real quick before I start boohooing.
In Texas unalived herself after she was being bullied in school and threatened that ICE would deport her and her family. A Texas mother is seeking answers after the 11-year-old daughter took her own life following relentless bullying about her family's immigration status. The child, and I don't want to get her name wrong, so excuse me if I do, Jocelyn Rojo Carranza, was a 6th grade student at Gainesville Intermediate School. Now, school officials, as well as the mom, is stating that she was bullied and she did report what was going on to the staff members at the school, but nothing was done. The mom did not know about the bullying until she had already taken her life. Rest in peace to this girl. I know her family must be going through hard times. To you MAGA parents who continue to teach your racist ways to your kids, I hope you will learn a lesson in this if you see this. But you probably won't, because you're more than likely will victim blame and will blame the school, will blame the parents, and will not take accountability for anything that you do in raising your kids and teaching them to say these type of things to other kids. This type of behavior is taught and not learned. An 11-year-old does not know about ICE unless they are taught that from their parents. I pray and I hope that they find whoever the main person was that was bullying this young lady, that they find them and they charge them with whatever they can, and they do it as an adult, just to teach the parents a lesson.
Ooh. Oh boy, wait a minute, whole lot of hands went up. Dave Jamel Cheech.
Yeah, I'm a little horrified by this. I didn't know about this video, and I'm a little horrified by it. And but unfortunately, in that state of Texas, I don't think even if they find the person who's bullying this girl, forcing it, I don't think they're going to hold them accountable anyway. It's Texas. I only seen one case where something similar was a person was held accountable. And that was a young college student up in Jersey who would happen to be gay, and somebody filmed him in a gay relationship and threatened and basically blackmailed him. He went to the George Washington Bridge and jumped off. That wasn't too long ago, maybe 10 years ago. Okay, jumped off George Washington Bridge, and his parents never knew that he was gay, and he jumped off the George Washington Bridge because he was getting bullied by another college student who kept showing his. He secretly videoed him in his room, and this is disgusting. The state of Texas is disgusting. Okay, and the parents who are okay with the kids doing this to people are disgusting, and meanwhile, when that broke ass state of Texas, something happens down there with their grid or a storm, here they come. Well, Here they come asking us for a welfare check out of blue states. I'm tired of the ignorance. The education's horrible down there. And now they have a measles outbreak there. They don't give a damn. I can't, this is horrible. And I hope those parents can sue or get a real decent lawyer and light their asses up. I'm done. Hello?
Okay. Let me see. Next, I got Jamel, Cheech, and D. I'm trying to do a couple of things, and Mark.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I have to definitely support everything that Dave had just mentioned. It's just so unfortunate. An 11-year-old innocent young girl, has to be victimized by these bullies in her school. And like Dave said, he gave us an example of a college student that was bullied and committed suicide. So, it doesn't matter, how old you are. People's words are very infectious. And, apparently, this is what has happened. And of course, the state of Texas, that vile state, is just so it's just so unimaginable, some of the hate that comes out of that state. And it starts from the governor on down, Governor Gregory Abbott. If you remember, he deported immigrants from the state of Texas to New York like it was some game. So, it doesn't surprise me that you would have these young individuals there, spewing this hate to this young girl to the point where she committed suicide, and she's so young and innocent, and whether she knew that to be true or not, still words hurt, and as an end result, she committed suicide. So my prayers go out to the family of that young lady, and I hope that they see some type of recourse. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Jamel, I just have to jump in there. My heart is really aching to know this little young girl took her life because of the threat of her family leaving, and she left here by herself. That kind of bothered me. So I hear you. Cheech, I got Cheech, D, Mark, and Jerry.
Yeah, I wanted to add a little more context to this too. I think people are not aware that. So the mom did not know that she was being bullied. The school was aware of it. Not only was the school aware of it, the school was counseling her twice a week without the mother's knowledge. She was seeing a counselor for the bullying at school. So the mom was not aware. This is something in the Latino community that I don't think people in general are aware of, the psychological damage that is being done to our community. I deal a lot with kids now, mentoring. I specifically have one who, great student, never had any issues, but all of a sudden he's changed. And when we got to talking, it's because of the climate that's going on right now. He has no idea what is going to happen to his mother. Him and his siblings were born here, but his mom was not. So, it's tearing him up and it's changing him. It's making him have this hatred now towards everyone. And I think that's in general in the Latino community, and this is such a tragedy to see because of the climate out there right now. I hate it. I hope it doesn't happen again, but it wouldn't surprise me if it does. Because I think people are not afraid now to bully somebody like that over their status. I think there are people out there that are more willing to confront you, more willing to tell you to speak English when you're out and about. I tell people all the time, nobody has no idea what my status is when I'm out on the street. I'm just another Latino out of uniform. Nobody has any idea what I did with the fire department, what I did for work, what I do for the community. I'm just another Latino. You know, I had an incident before even all this started out here in the deep South, out and we were out in the mountains and stopped at a restaurant, you know, and I was on the phone with my mom. My mom, you know, her English is not that good. I'm talking to her in Spanish. And the guy told me, speak English. You're an American. I just laughed it off, you know. I'm like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not going to start up. Plus, I was not in an area where I would have had any backing from anyone else. But unfortunately, this is the environment, and people are not afraid now to show their true feelings. And these are the consequences.
Terrible. And I feel for you, Cheech, and I feel for us. Terrible. We'll have D, Mark, and Jerry.
Yeah, just really, really quick. We want to place the blame. We want to point fingers, and I look at the parents. Now, I haven't been a parent, so I'm not going to speak from that perspective, but I did have a parent. And I remember when I saw this, I remember my mom wouldn't let me be a bully. You know, we couldn't have popular friends come over the house. She's looking side-eye. If you didn't bring somebody that needed to be over there, she talked to you later. What are you doing? Oh, I'm with the popular kids. I'm a ball player. I'm with the, you know, everybody's related in here, and she don't want to have that. If my friends, and hopefully they're not listening, one had one leg and one was from a whole different, barely spoke English, and that was my crew. That's the way we hung out with. That's what I had to hang out with. I couldn't come home. So when we have these kids who don't really have, we talked about it, the intellectual ability to do things, your parents, y'all got to step up. You got to, and we saw with the school shootings, you're going to be held responsible. The ultimate responsibility, I don't want to talk about that. I'll leave that to Don. But you're going to have to answer for this foolishness your kids are doing. They're going to school trying to be popular, and they're bullying kids that don't, it's the end for them. It's the end. And you got to understand that. You're laughing it off and going home, and these kids are ending themselves. They're unaliving themselves because of something you might have said. And I want to say something to the bullies. Somebody called me a bully once. I want to say something to the bullies. If somebody unalives themselves because of something that you did, I don't care how much justification, that's on you. You got to be aware of what you're saying. And I'm out.
Because it matters.
Yeah, very true, very true. Let me just make sure I'm not missing some of these comments real quick. I saw someone comment about Eric Adams. We can get to that if we can. Folks making hate okay. That has me feel in a real type of way. Real quick. Musk headquarters in Texas. We're well aware, Cheech. They never were very scared. Arthur Barrett says families have the same effect when their parents and family members are incarcerated, and all the side effects that are being discussed about this young innocent child that took her life are present in the families of the incarcerated also. Please don't forget that I mean, that's true. That's true. Not only that, maybe sometimes even in death. You go even further, even in death, you know, people feel like, well, if they're going, there's no need of me being here. You know. Let me go with Mark and Jerry.
Yeah, you know, I don't always blame the parents. Sometimes we bring up our kids thinking that they're one way, and when they get to school around their peers, they're influenced to be another way, and they don't show us that. So, but I blame the school, because how are you tutoring a child, pulling her out of a class twice a week, and you're not letting the parents know? You know, when my grandson, when there's an incident at my grandson's school, everybody gets a letter, whether they're involved or not. It could be like the 9th grade kid and 10th, 11th, 12th grade kids. The letters go home. You get notified. Now, whether you want to contact the school and get more information, then that's on the parent. But our kids are growing up quicker than we did. And just like we are bombarded by the news with ICE, with this, with that, our kids are too. And even on the internet, you can't open up something without some advertisement. You could be looking at TikTok or whatever, and or YouTube, and you'll see advertisement talking about ICE, talking about this, talking about Trump, talking about whatever. So our kids think, if they're not brought up and told, listen, you're going to see this stuff, but this is not something to joke about, but how this school let that go. And like I said, part of it also is the news, because we're bombarded by it. Everybody's so concentrated on getting that next clip to get out there and get everybody's attention. And a lot of times they're not fact checking stuff, but our kids are bombarded by that stuff. And unfortunately, kids being kids, they may think it's funny to go tease somebody else about something. They part of it, as tragic as this is, part of it, they just don't understand the ramifications of their action. And that's sad too. And that's where it's incumbent on the school to express that to the kids. There were times when I was going to school and they'd march everybody to the auditorium and they would have the teachers or somebody come in and speak to us. And unfortunately, I don't know if that was lost because of COVID. And now all of a sudden, nobody wants to really have face-to-face contact, but they need to do that. But that school, that's a real problem. If that was my child, I'd have a real problem with that school.
All right. Great point. Jerry?
The thing that I am in total torn up about is the fact that baby girl took her own life. And I'm looking at it thinking she thought she was the point that was going to perhaps have her whole family be totally disrupted and moved because of her. And her classmates or schoolmates or whoever, whatever, are attacking her, and they're looking at her and she's going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And she's feeling like she's the lynch point. She's the reason why her family might be totally disrupted and moved or taken away from the comforts of this life. And I'm looking at all of this going, like you guys say, the school, how do they do what they were doing and not contact her family and let them know that she was going through so much? And all of those parents who, and the parents may not have known that their children were bullying this girl. Because as we talk about it, like her parents didn't know she was being bullied. Their parents may not have known that their children were doing that to her. But I'm still like, I'm broken down by all of this. Because only thing I keep thinking is she took her life, and I'm assuming it is an assumption, because she thought her not being there would make things better for her family. And I could be totally wrong, but I'm just like, come on now. It's a total abomination. It's a total not okay. And I pray to our Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost to help us work through what we're dealing with every day on all kinds of levels.
Now, Jerry, I don't see anything wrong with your view. I just see it a little bit differently. I just felt that I just felt that maybe she just felt that she was losing her family. Not that it was even her fault, but ICE is coming to take your family away. And maybe she had nothing to do. Maybe I don't know. First of all, neither one of them.
Because they haven't said whether or not she was there. I assume they are not there illegally, but that's an assumption, and that's not.
So, right. So in my mind, I'm just saying that, regardless, I'm
life
saying
without her family. Okay,
you're taking my family away.
Life without her family.
And then if you take my family away, I'm left here.
Where am I?
With no family. Because you've taken my mother and my father and whoever else away. And we don't know which one it was because we just don't know. But I'm just saying, but that's how I looked at it. You looked at it from the other perspective. I looked at it from that one.
That's
But
because I talk to my little grandkids.
yeah,
I've been with
listen.
my grandkids a lot recently, and they talk to me, so I was coming from their perspective. And not that that's anti yours. It's just
No, I know. I think I know it's not. It's just that that's how you saw it. I'm ready to ask my granddaughter, what does she know about ice? I'm ready to ask her now because it's like, how much do you know?
And my baby girl's best friend is his I don't help me teach Spanish. She's not she's
Latina.
Thank you, Latino. My baby girl's very best friend is Latino, and she talks to her all the time. So I'm around them, and I'm usually like, really? Oh, because I don't see it, but every day with them, like their house has like ours once upon a time had 9, 10 family members in their home, and they working every day and they doing, but they still like right now, like oh, because of that guy, and we know who that guy is and what he's doing, and he's wrong, and I'm gonna shut up.
No, that's good. Because Marcus said the same thing you said, Jerry, probably threatened that she would be taken away too. Felt she didn't belong. So, like I said, there's different thoughts there. We really don't know, but there's different thoughts there. But either way,
not okay.
Committed suicide, and that's terrible.
Okay, not okay.
That's terrible. So let me go with Jamel, Cheech, and Ty.
Yes. Great commentary, Jerry and Mark, and shame on those school faculty, for clandestinely intervening with this girl without the parents' consent or parents' knowledge. The way I see it, look, the school faculty, they almost allowed this girl's tormentors, do what they did because, listen, I would think that the school faculty probably have the same biases as these kids that tormented this young girl. The school faculty, they didn't place no value on that girl. They didn't place no value on her family. They felt that it would be in their eyes. Listen, we don't have to include her family. Why make something out of nothing? Because this is nothing. And then, unfortunately, it turned out to be something. It turned out to be the death of a young girl. It turned out to be the loss of a life. It turned out to be something so overwhelming for a family. So, shame on that school faculty for not placing any value in that girl, for not giving her the sensitivity and the attention and intervention that she desperately needed. That's it, guys.
Thank you, Jamel. Cheech?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. I hope it's not true, but they say history repeats itself. I think that this country is going to have a whole new generation of kids that are raised with hatred in their hearts already. I see they're seeing what their parents are doing now, and a lot of kids, they just follow their parents, and they see what their parents are doing, saying, posting. So unfortunately, I hope it's not true, but unfortunately, I think, we're going to have a whole new generation again of people full of hatred towards others.
Okay. I see the same thing, Cheech. I really do. I see, because kids mimic their parents or the adults that they're associated with. They mimic them, even if they really don't understand it. They just do what they do what they see. They say what they hear.
There you go. That's it. They say what
just
they
like we talk, just like Elon's
son
speaking in the president's office. Well, he's not that smart.
No.
He's repeating what he's already
He's
heard.
4.
Yeah.
He's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's repeating what he heard. Ty?
So I was a juvenile detective for more than a decade, and I worked primarily in this young lady's age group in the middle school. Donald and those guys had the high school on lock. And it just, to me, it's tragic that the school dropped the ball the way they did. And we can all Monday morning quarterback and why it happened and what this and but like Donald and Jerry said, I'm gonna agree with them. But I just feel like when I was a juvenile detective and somebody was bullying, the first thing I like to do is to bring the parents in because you never know what that's close. By bringing the parents in, you close the circle. That's why Mr. Brown was the principal at high school, my old math teacher, principal at the middle school when I was juvenile detective. And he asked me why. I said, because I know I know it's protocol. He wants to know why. I said, because I like to close the circle. Whenever there's a bullying event, it's not just those two kids involved. It happened in the school, okay? And the parents need to be involved because that's the closing the entire. Once we close the circle, now we can try and solve the problem. And I just feel like had the parents had been involved, not saying she wouldn't have killed herself still, but at least the parents said, listen, sweetheart, these kids don't know what they're talking about. We're not being deported. We're not going anywhere. And that one simple line from her mother could have caused her that brief second of pause. Because I've dealt with a lot of suicide people, like a lot of cops said did. And they all said that I said one word that made them pause. And I don't know what the word was, and who knows, but it was words of encouragement and words of authenticity, transparency. And I just really feel like at least you got to give this child the opportunity to live, man. Now, I know it's extreme to think, oh my God, the kid's going to commit suicide. I'd rather think that way and back off than not think that way. And here we are now at 4:10 in the afternoon discussing somebody's child that's killed himself. So I just feel like there's possibility could have been there if they closed the circle. That's it, Don.
All right. Richard Belden says, as a former teacher, the school can have the child in counseling without the parents being notified. Just like they can give students birth control without the parents' permission. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
See,
Well,
see, so now we're starting to see that it can be done, but should it be done?
That's my problem, Don. Like you always
Right.
say, because I can shoot him, I have to shoot you. Because I have the right to shoot you, I got to shoot you.
But he really, when
Donald,
he said
just like. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. So with that said, with the former teacher saying that, well, then these school districts will have to realize that when things go awry, when things go bad because of your principles, then when the lawsuit starts coming in because we have someone who take their lives or we have someone who may get medically injured because of what your principles allow inside that school. Well,
I got something to say to that. I hate to be on this side of the fence, though, Jamel, but how can you charge someone with breaking the law when it's not against the law?
Against the law, exactly. It's not against the school law.
If they can do it, they haven't broken any laws.
Well, I'm sure a lawyer that could charge a ham sandwich will find something.
You can charge it, but where's it going?
Get a good lawyer. Yeah.
But on the suicide, if it's not, if in Texas I can carry a gun, how you gonna charge me for carrying a gun?
Okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to catch up with this. Like, if it's not against the law, how can you charge me for something that's not where I did not break the law?
Well, you're right. You didn't break the law, but however, we have a victim because of what your policy at school is allowing you to do.
Without breaking the law.
Without breaking the law. Yeah, great.
I mean, don't think I agree with that.
No, I
don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But a lawsuit can bring change to that.
Hold on, AC got his hand up. AC, go ahead. I have Mark too.
Okay. The purpose of that schools are allowed. The reason schools are allowed to do that is so that when you're having problems at home, you can get help. But this wasn't that situation. This wasn't a problem at home. This was a problem at school.
That's what I'm going to say, Don, if I can interject, because Mr. Bowden's is correct, but that is for the protection of the household, not for the integrity of the child in the household. We want the child to feel like they can come to the school and say, I need to talk to you. My parents can't be here because my dad's beating the shit out of my mom. You know what I mean? That's what that. So the teacher is correct when he says that, but that's the context in which that law is allowed, or which that is allowed. Now, if something happens in the school, it is our responsibility to let the parents know that his child's being bullied. And then the next question I would ask is, so what are y'all doing about it? Well, we plan on putting your kid in counseling starting next Tuesday. Do you want to be part of it? I mean, that's how that, am I right, AC? Did I say that right, AC?
That's my understanding.
Yeah, exactly. My understanding also how that works. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
The teacher's right when he said that, but that's just to protect the integrity of the household so the child won't be in danger in the household by letting the parents know that he's talking about the daddy beating the mama.
Thank you for this. Thank you. Listen, thank you for the discussion. Jerry, I don't know what that means. Okay, Mark.
Sorry, I was just reacting to Ty at the end. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was about to send Dee a message. I know we're closing. Can we get something nice?
Mark. Wait, hold up. Mark.
You done? Yeah, you guys pretty much covered it. Donald, you said it best before, like just because it can be done doesn't mean it should be done. And Tyrone covered it by saying, and I think Cheats as well, that, you know, in this instance, or maybe AC, in this instance, that's not the time when you don't tell the parents. Okay, you want to tell the parents so they can reinforce to their child whatever those fears are. So somebody dropped the ball. That might be the rule of law, but I think it was misinterpreted. You know, the true letter of the law. It wasn't for that. It was because, hey, listen, you got a kid that's being bullied. Plus, I'm wondering what happened to the bullies. You know, I don't think the news covered that, but you know, were they disciplined? Were they suspended? Were they taken care of? I'd like to know that as well. I know you guys don't know that, but I'm just saying the news is so quick to put out half the story.
Were they even identified who the bullies were? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we don't know that. That's
Put on the age too. Karen Caffey says an article that I posted earlier today said that she was in weekly counseling 2 times a week, if I'm not mistaken, 2 times a week. Marcus Diggs says that's for a judge or jury to decide, Rev. I agree. It is. But the law, if you haven't broken the law, you can be charged all you want to. If you haven't broken the law, you haven't broken the law. That's just my point. Marcus says the context tie says they are obligated under the law to report any abuse in the household. Okay.
Depending what state you're in, that's true.
Then he says that's a lame excuse. And then Artie says the schools have always been our guardians. It's just now they use this power and no one says a word. Marcus says they're juveniles. They won't be ID'd unless they kill themselves. Woo. Okay, who do I have? Do I have anybody? All right, D, do we have? Okay, we got a few minutes. 12
minutes.
Let's just talk real quick about the trooper. The trooper suspended.
In North Carolina?
All right, let me play that.
Yeah, your state. Your state.
That's hilarious.
Administrative leave. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. It started with an investigation into a deadly crash in October on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. The findings resulted in the Wake County District Attorney's Office dismissing 180 cases.
Chelsea Donovan just spoke with the district attorney and joins us now live at the Wake County Justice Center. Chelsea.
All right, so after speaking with District Attorney Lauren Freeman, she told me that she got word last month from someone within the SBI that had concerns about two of these troopers that responded to this deadly crash up on Capitol Boulevard. That crash happened on October 7th, and she found some information through dash cam and body cam video that the responding troopers' information may not have been entirely truthful and credible as to what happened within that crash. Now, this is video of that deadly crash on October 7th of last year. District Attorney Lauren Freeman says she saw evidence on dash and body camera video that may have indicated Trooper Garrett Maricario could have been providing misleading information. Now, Macario is 26 years old. He was hired on the force back in 2021. Freeman called him historically aggressive on driving while impaired cases, but as of this week, she's had to dismiss all of his cases. So that means all of his cases in which he brought about charges. This is close to 200 cases. Now, also, his supervisor, 40-year-old Matthew Morrison, has also been put on leave by the Highway Patrol.
I think absolutely we believe that credibility among law enforcement is essential to the work that we do on a daily basis. And, you know, we need, in order to be able to seek justice, we've got to be able to trust our officers. And frankly, when we can't, you know, it's disgusting, and it results in us not being able to move forward and hold people accountable.
Now, Freeman told me that she anticipates dismissing the majority of Sergeant Matthew Morrison's cases as well. He's not on the road as much as Trooper Macario, so she doesn't expect it's going to be a high number, like close to 180. This is an investigation that's just started. It's important to note, though, right now, neither of these troopers have been charged with any crimes. They're simply being investigated by the DA's office as well as the SBI. Live in downtown Raleigh, Chelsea Donovan, WRL News.
All right, Ty, your hand is up before we got there, so go ahead.
So I work with the Wake County Sheriff's Office. Those guys are my clients. And although the sheriff and the state police are two different, they were working in Wake County. And I could not. So the offense committed was so egregious, you guys that are highway guys, that the ADA was afraid not to throw all the cases out. Because of the credibility. They can't tell me what it is because for obvious reasons. But this guy was putting in work trying to skew cases in the favor of away from black people. I don't know how to say it. There's no way to say it, but against non-whites. I mean, he was. They said it was. I spoke to the deputy chief, who's the chief's deputy for sheriff. He said it was the information that he was changing was so egregious that the ADAs and the attorneys were afraid not to throw every single case out. I mean, that's incredible to me that they threw every case out. And that's just it's very, very. I mean, I would love to know what he was actually saying in those briefs. You know, it was I would love to know what it was. It was that egregious. He said it like 3 times how bad it was. So, go ahead, Schooner. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead, Don. All right.
Schoon's next. Hands up.
Go ahead, Schooner. Like me, you're on mute.
D, you on mute. You on mute. You must don't want.
Sorry. No, I was trying to set up that other video. My bad. Real quick. This is just for the people watching. This is what happens when you catch one officer doing one thing. All his cases come into question. His credibility is. Now I don't know whether you were listening to the video. His sergeant, all of his cases. His partner, all of his cases will come into. The lieutenant. Come on, chief. The chief, everything comes into question. So most of us that work the street or work the field understand it's more than just me doing something stupid. I can do something and have a momentary lapse, which we think it can be a momentary lapse, and I end up taking Mark with me. Like, what? And he don't have to be there with me, but he's supervising me.
Got suspended too. He wasn't even there.
See what I'm saying? So
he goes
when
down
you
to
have these police officers that do this egregious
not
stuff,
doing right.
to me, they need to be drawn and quartered because you don't care about nobody. I could be sitting in the car next to you. You got out ostensibly to get a cup of coffee, said something or did something, jumped back in the car, and now I'm in front of the grand jury.
Both of y'all,
and that's happened.
We're going together.
With you.
What? It's a cup of coffee. No, you should have known. You should have done something about it. You've been there. You should have known. And even as a supervisor, I wasn't as high as Mark, but even as a supervisor, I'm responsible for everybody in my unit, whether I'm there or not. I told this story once. I was in France on the phone. I got in trouble for some stuff that happened in New York. I was in France.
Wasn't even in the country.
But it was my unit. And they were like, well, yeah.
Somehow,
some kind of way, you should have been able to manifest yourself over here and fix it. And I took the beating. Just what it is. I'm done.
It comes with the territory, even as a pastor. It comes with the territory. Mark?
Yeah, do we have a HR department? Because I sent that to the trooper, and he weaseled his way to get a dig in at the chief. And I need to talk to him, Don. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Don't worry, just write them up and send it to me, Mark.
Even a bigger
We'll silence him for a couple of weeks. But Jerry, do you have something to say?
I'm just saying love and peace. Y'all keep me laughing.
Okay.
I need to laugh. Thank you.
All right, D,
Yes,
set us
sir.
up to get out of here.
All right.
Nice.
We got a real quick. Let's see what we're talking about. We got a few minutes. I'm just gonna play a few of these. There's a lot on here, but I'm just gonna play a few.
As it's about police officers doing their best to help citizens. This will be proof that not all cops are bad, and many of them have a heart of gold. Buckle up and let's watch. A man was lost and stranded in Sunderland when a kind police officer came to help him. The officer gave this man a ride, which was really nice of him. The funny thing is that the two old ladies thought he was getting arrested. An officer got hospitalized and didn't see his dog for a while. His comrade brought the dog to the hospital he was in and organized a small reunion for them.
Hi. I missed you. Hi. I know you're crazy. Live. Leon. Hey. Hey, buddy. I know.
It was very heartwarming to see the dog so excited about seeing its owner after what felt like a long time of separation for him.
See? I know. I'm ready to go work too. I know. Okay, good.
Ocala Police Department is one of the best departments in the whole country. Not only are the police officers of this department good at their jobs, but they also know how to make people's day.
Thank you, Jesus. I mean, out of all people, thank you, Jesus.
You're welcome, man.
God bless
You're
you,
welcome.
brother.
Hey, y'all. Good evening. I'm Officer Crossman.
All right, we're gonna end it right there.
That was good. She saw that 100 boy. She thanking Jesus. She thanking everybody. But that dog, I mean, I felt the dog.
Yeah, that dog love that handler.
That dog was like, man, I'm trying to get up in that bed. All right, listen. Anybody with anything else before we go? We got a minute. Got a minute. Thank you guys so much.
I say, thank you, Jesus.
Yep. Okay.
He's the one.
Did I hear her say thank you, Pastor Butler, too?
No, I did not. He be my friend. He be my friend, but thank you, Jesus. He be my friend,
Oh yeah,
you know.
she got it typed in there too. Listen, thank you guys so much for joining us. We try to keep it moving, trying to be off the air by 4:30. Trying to respect your time, and real quick, we're gonna try to reach out to you. I know you're retired, but we're gonna try to reach out to you through your boy Tyrone and see what's going on. Thank you guys for taking time out. Continue to pray for Jim. Continue to pray for Melba. Definitely Cheech. Now his wife Anna, AC, his wife Jeanette, and his mother-in-law, JT in Orlando, Mark Matthews, and his family. Who else we have over here?
Daryl.
CJ. Yep, we'll
I
pray
told
for.
you, Donald, not me, but Mary Carroll. I need you to pray for my 93-year-old. I need you to pray for my girl. That's my mother-in-law. Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna keep them in our prayers. All right. Thank
Pray
God
for my girl, Miss Caffey, too. Miss Caffey, pray for my girl.
Oh yeah, she's on my list. You know, she's on my list. All right. Thank you guys so much. If it's God's will, we'll see you next week. Let us pray. God our Father, we thank you again for being God and being God all by yourself. We're praying to God for all those names that were just called, whatever their situations may be. We're praying to God that you would take care of it. You would comfort them, especially with AC and his mother-in-law at this time. Be with them right now. Be with Natisha Robinson and her family this time. All of those who are grieved by the hands of death and those who are sick and shut in. We're praying to God that your will be done in their lives. We thank you to God for those who are on Facebook Live. We're praying for their families and their loved ones as well. Praying to God you continue to be with us. Roll call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We thank you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.